Welcome to our channel HD Rare Coin 111, your go-to spot for uncovering the incredible world of rare US coins. If you've ever wondered if your old pennies, nickels, or dimes are worth more than face value, you're about to find out. In today's video, we'll be exploring some truly rare coins and their shocking values. And if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. So let's jump in. Top 1. Have you ever imagined that a simple quarter, a coin you might have in your pocket or tossed in a jar, could be worth a small fortune? Well, buckle up and prepare to enter the fascinating world of rare American coins, where everyday change can transform into unbelievable treasures. We're diving deep into the mystery and majesty of the 1965 Washington quarter, a coin that, under certain rare conditions, has stunned collectors and auction houses alike with its staggering value. Now, let's rewind the clock and go back to the year 1965, a time of change, innovation, and significant decisions in the world of U.S. coinage. Up until 1964, quarters were made of 90% silver. But due to a shortage of silver and rising metal costs, the U.S. Mint made a historic shift in 1965. They removed silver from the quarter's composition, replacing it with a copper-nickel clad combination. This was a monumental change in the coinage of the United States, and the 1965 Washington quarter was the first to be struck using this new composition. But here's where things get extremely interesting. Even though the Mint officially stopped using silver in 1964, a few 1965 quarters were mistakenly struck on leftover silver planchets meant for the previous year's coins. These rare mistakes, known as transitional errors, resulted in 1965 quarters that were secretly made of 90% silver rather than the new copper-nickel clad. These coins are not only extremely rare, but they have become legendary among numismatists, with only a small handful confirmed to exist. The 1965 Washington quarter is standard in appearance, showing the iconic bust of George Washington on the obverse side, designed by John Flanagan, with the word Liberty boldly stamped above his head. Below his chin lies the motto, "In God We Trust," and behind his profile, the date 1965 is engraved, standing proudly at the bottom of the coin. It's clean, classic, and unmistakably American. Flip the coin over and you'll find the equally elegant reverse design. The majestic bald eagle perches upon a bundle of arrows, symbolizing America's strength and readiness for defense. Below the arrows, two olive branches fan out, representing the nation's desire for peace. Above the eagle's head soars the phrase, "United States of America," while "E pluribus unum," Latin for "out of many one," serves as a quiet reminder of America's unity. The denomination, $quarter, rests beneath the eagle's talons, finishing off this iconic layout. Now let's talk specifications, the details that make collectors' hearts race. The 1965 Washington quarter has a diameter of 24.26 millimeters, a thickness of 1.75 millimeters, and weighs precisely 5.67 grams. While the standard coin is composed of a copper core clad in a copper-nickel outer layer, the rare transitional era coins are secretly 90% silver, a critical difference that isn't visible to the eye but can be detected by weight, sound, or specialized testing. Interestingly, the 1965 quarters were struck without a mint mark, as the Mint temporarily suspended mint marks to discourage hoarding. That means no matter where the coin was struck, Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco, it bears no identifying letter. This has made determining the origin of some rare varieties more challenging and mysterious, further heightening their allure. So, what makes some 1965 quarters worth an absolute fortune while others are just pocket change? It all comes down to rarity and error. The silver 1965 quarter is a holy grail level mistake. Only a few were ever discovered, usually because their weight is slightly different from the copper-nickel versions, a difference of about 0.6 grams. That small deviation has led collectors to test hundreds of 1,965 quarters in hopes of finding one of these elusive silver errors. One famous silver 1965 quarter surfaced at an auction and sold for a stunning 5-figure sum, confirming the incredible value these transitional errors can fetch. But even more dramatic examples have gone far beyond that. Let's not forget condition. Coins in uncirculated or mint state condition, especially those with crisp details, strong luster, and no signs of wear, can exponentially increase in value. Combine that condition with a rare silver error, and suddenly, you're holding a piece of metal that could change your life. Imagine the shock of discovering that a coin you once used in a vending machine could actually be a historic artifact worth more than some luxury cars or even a small house. That's the world of rare coins, unpredictable, thrilling, and full of surprises. Many coin collectors today are turning their eyes back to 1965 quarters, especially as awareness grows about the silver era versions. YouTube videos, online forums, coin expos, and auction houses are all buzzing with stories of lucky finds and jaw-dropping values. And let's be honest, the dream of discovering hidden treasure is a feeling we all secretly share. So next time you get change from the store or dig through that forgotten jar of coins, don't overlook the humble 1965 Washington quarter. That silver-colored disc may be more than just change, it might be history in your hand, silently carrying the story of America's coinage evolution and offering the potential of a life-changing discovery. Collectors know that true value lies not just in rarity, but in the story a coin tells, and the 1965 Washington quarter tells a tale of transition, error, mystery, and the unexpected treasures that sometimes slip into everyday circulation. And now, for the part you've all been waiting for. Just how much could a rare 1965 Washington quarter be worth? Well, in an extraordinary case, a silver era version of the 1965 Washington quarter, preserved in pristine condition and verified by expert grading authorities, has fetched a jaw-dropping amount at auction. The value of this special coin has soared all the way to $190,000. Top 2. In the vast and fascinating world of coin collecting, there are certain coins that stand out not just because of their age, but because of the incredible stories they carry and the mystery they hold. One such coin is the 1967 Washington quarter, a simple, round piece of metal that has stunned the numismatic world with its extraordinary value. While it may look like just another silver-colored quarter in your pocket, certain rare examples of this coin have sold for small fortunes. So today, let's take a deep dive into the world of the 1967 Washington quarter and uncover why this specific coin has become a hidden treasure in the eyes of collectors across the globe. Let's begin by looking at the historical background of this coin. By the mid-1960s, the United States was facing a critical shortage of silver. Rising silver prices and a growing demand for coinage led to a major shift in how U.S. coins were minted. In 1965, the U.S. Mint officially stopped producing quarters from 90% silver and transitioned to a copper-nickel clad composition, a copper core sandwiched between two layers of cupronickel. The 1967 Washington quarter was part of this new era, produced with the same specifications introduced just 2 years earlier. This was a time of experimentation, transition, and adaptation for the mint, and that's where the intrigue begins. The 1967 quarter was struck without a mint mark. During this period, from 1965 to 1967, the U.S. Mint deliberately removed mint marks from coins in an effort to discourage hoarding. The logic was simple. Without mint marks, there was no way to identify which mint a coin came from, making all coins appear equal in value to the average American. But this also introduced an air of mystery into the numismatic world. Without a mint mark, identifying rare varieties or errors becomes a more complex and rewarding challenge for collectors. Now, let's talk design. The obverse, or front, of the coin features the well-known and admired profile of George Washington, the first President of the United States. Designed by sculptor John Flanagan, this image has been a staple of the quarter dollar since 1932. Above Washington's head is the word Liberty, and to the left, just under his chin, are the words, In God We Trust. The date, 1967, is boldly struck beneath his profile, grounding the coin firmly in its historic moment. On the reverse side, we see a powerful image of a bald eagle with its wings outstretched, gripping a bundle of arrows, symbols of strength and readiness, and surrounded by olive branches that represent peace. Above the eagle is the nation's name, United States of America, while the motto, E pluribus unum, meaning, out of many one, is etched just below. And finally, the denomination, $quarter, is proudly displayed at the bottom. Together, these images and inscriptions form a coin that is not just currency, but a miniature symbol of the nation's ideals. What truly makes some 1967 Washington quarters incredibly valuable, however, are the rare and exceptional error coins that slip through quality control unnoticed. These errors are what sent collectors into a frenzy. The most prized 1967 quarters are those that were struck on silver planchets, a shocking and rare mistake considering silver was officially removed from quarters starting in 1965. These transitional errors may have occurred due to leftover silver planchets from prior years getting accidentally mixed into the production of copper-nickel coins. A genuine 1967 quarter struck on a silver planchet will weigh slightly more than a typical Clyde quarter, about 6.25 grams instead of the expected 5.67 grams. To the untrained eye, the difference is negligible, but for a serious collector or dealer with a digital scale and a sharp ear for the distinctive ring of silver, it can be a clue to something spectacular. In addition to wrong planchet errors, there are other minting anomalies that can make a 1967 quarter incredibly rare and valuable. Off-center strikes, double dies, broad strikes, and coins struck on foreign planchets, or with clipped planchets are all examples of mint errors that can dramatically increase a coin's value. Some collectors spend years hunting down these rarities, and when one surfaces in excellent condition, the excitement in the numismatic community is palpable. Speaking of condition, the grade or state of preservation plays a crucial role in determining a coin's market value. Coins that were never circulated, known as uncirculated or mint state coins, retain their full detail and luster and are extremely desirable. The best of these are graded by professional services like PCGS or NGC, often achieving designations like MS65, MS66, or even higher. For error coins, a high grade can multiply the value many times over. Another important factor is the historical significance and uniqueness of the 1967 coin within the broader narrative of U.S. coinage. The fact that the mint was undergoing a transformation during these years makes this quarter even more appealing to collectors who specialize in transitional and error coins. It represents a turning point, a symbol of change in the face of economic and industrial pressure. Beyond its monetary value, the 1967 Washington quarter is a symbol of resilience and innovation in American minting history. It speaks to a period of adjustment and problem-solving. Each surviving coin is a physical piece of that story, linking us back to the challenges and decisions that shaped modern American currency. Imagine the thrill of pulling out an old jar of coins from your garage, sorting through the pile, and realizing you're holding one of these rare quarters, a coin that most people would overlook as just another piece of change. The possibilities are endless, and that's what makes coin collecting so magical. Every coin has a story, and some, like the 1967 Washington quarter, have a story that ends with an astonishing value. And now, we arrive at the most breathtaking part of this journey. Among the rarest of the rare, one exceptional 1967 Washington quarter, struck on a silver planchet and preserved in near-perfect condition, has been auctioned to a collector for an eye-watering sum. The final price? A staggering $175,000. Top 3. Imagine holding a simple coin in your hand, a coin that millions of Americans once used to buy bubble gum, make payphone calls, or feed parking meters. A coin that may have jingled in the pockets of ordinary people across the United States for decades. Now imagine discovering that this very coin, seemingly ordinary and modest in appearance, could be worth more than luxury cars, high-end watches, or even a down payment on a beautiful home. Welcome to the mysterious and thrilling world of rare coin collecting, where history, errors, and luck collide to create extraordinary value. And today, we're taking a deep and exciting journey into the story of the 1971 Washington quarter, a coin that, under the right circumstances, has stunned collectors and auction houses with a value soaring all the way to $155,000. Let's start by stepping back in time to the early 1970s, a time of change and innovation in the United States. The economy was shifting, the culture was evolving, and so too was the coinage. By 1971, the U.S. Mint had already transitioned away from silver coinage. The once standard 90% silver quarters were replaced in 1965 with copper-nickel-clad coins. These newer coins featured a core of pure copper sandwiched between layers of nickel, creating a coin that retained its silver appearance, but not its intrinsic metal value. This change was introduced to meet rising silver costs and prevent further coin hoarding, which had become a major issue during the mid-1960s. The 1971 Washington quarter is a product of that era. Its physical specifications are well defined: a weight of 5.67 grams, a diameter of 24.26 millimeters, a thickness of 1.75 millimeters, and a composition of copper-nickel-clad copper. It's round, silver in color, and at first glance, appears indistinguishable from the hundreds of millions of quarters produced that year. But not all 1971 quarters are created equal, and that's where things start to get truly fascinating. The obverse of the coin, as it has since 1932, bears the timeless portrait of George Washington, the first President of the United States. This powerful design, created by John Flanagan, captures Washington in profile, facing left. The word Liberty arches over his head, while the national motto, "In God We Trust," rests solemnly on the left side. Beneath Washington's bust is the date, 1971, etched in bold numerals. It's a simple design, but one packed with dignity and American heritage. Turn the coin over, and you're met with an equally majestic reverse design. A bold eagle, wings spread wide, clutches a bundle of arrows in its talons, ready to defend if necessary. Below the arrows are olive branches, representing peace. The eagle's stance conveys both strength and watchfulness, a fitting symbol for a nation on the rise. Surrounding the eagle are the inscriptions: United States of America, above and $quarter below. And just beneath the eagle's beak, in smaller type, is the motto, E pluribus unum, Latin for out of many one. Now here's where the story takes a turn toward the extraordinary. While most 1971 quarters are common and circulate without much fanfare, a select few have emerged that carry incredible value, not because of what they were meant to be, but because of what went wrong. These valuable 1971 quarters are rare mint errors or struck on the wrong planchets. In some astonishing cases, these coins were struck on leftover silver planchets from previous years, a massive error considering that silver was officially removed from quarter production years earlier. A 1971 quarter struck on a silver planchet is a numismatic miracle. It's an accident of production, a silent rebellion against the system, and because so few were made and even fewer survived, their value is nearly unmatched in modern quarter collecting. These coins can weigh slightly more than their copper-nickel counterparts and often exhibit a different sound, sheen, or specific characteristics that set them apart under expert analysis. But silver planchets aren't the only anomaly that makes certain 1971 quarters valuable. Other rare errors have been recorded, such as double die obverse, off-center strikes, broad strikes, and even quarters struck on foreign coin planchets, like those intended for Canadian or Philippine coins. These mistakes result in strikingly different appearances, and collectors are willing to pay extraordinary prices for coins with these kinds of unusual features, especially when certified by professional grading services like PCGS or NGC. Condition is another vital factor. A coin in uncirculated or mint-state condition, meaning it shows no signs of wear and tear, can command a significantly higher price than one that's been passed through countless hands. Some 1971 quarters, preserved in pristine condition straight from mint sets or forgotten rolls, have achieved grades as high as MS-67 or even MS-68. These top-grade coins, especially when combined with a rare mint error, instantly become crown jewels in any coin collection. So how do you know if you have one of these hidden gems? Well, it starts with a careful inspection. If your 1971 quarter looks unusually shiny, weighs a bit more, has strange markings, or just seems off in any way, it's worth investigating further. Take it to a trusted coin dealer, weigh it with a digital scale, and look for signs of striking errors or unusual planchet material. What may seem like just another coin could turn out to be a life-changing discovery. The excitement of finding one of these ultra-rare quarters is not just in the money, though the financial value is significant, but also in the thrill of connecting with history. Holding such a coin means holding a piece of American minting history, a rare relic that tells a story of transition, error, and the extraordinary hiding within the ordinary. Collectors from around the world continue to seek out the rarest examples of the 1971 Washington quarter. They scour old collections, hunt through forgotten coin jars, and analyze roll after roll, hoping to be the next lucky individual to uncover one of these hidden treasures. Every collector dreams of that moment, the spark of discovery, the rush of adrenaline, and the realization that a simple piece of pocket change is actually a fortune in disguise. And now, for the moment you've been waiting for, just how much can a rare 1971 Washington quarter be worth? One specific coin, believed to be struck on a silver planchet and preserved in exceptional mint state condition, sent shockwaves through the numismatic world when it was sold in a high-profile auction. Its final price reached a breathtaking $155,000. Top 4. In the world of coin collecting, there are moments when an ordinary-looking coin reveals itself to be anything but ordinary. It might be something you've seen 1,000 times, a familiar face, a common design, but behind that familiar surface could lie a story of mystery, rarity, and astonishing value. Today, we shine a spotlight on one such coin, the 1979 Washington quarter. At first glance, it's just another silver-colored coin, often overlooked in pocket change. But in some rare cases, this coin has sold for an absolutely jaw-dropping price, leaving collectors stunned. So buckle in as we dive deep into the history, details, and secrets of the 1979 Washington quarter, a coin that could be hiding in plain sight and potentially worth an incredible $110,000. To understand the true significance of the 1979 Washington quarter, we need to revisit the context of its creation. By 1979, the United States Mint had firmly moved away from producing silver coins for circulation. The shift had started in 1965 when the rising price of silver and coin hoarding forced the U.S. government to rethink the composition of circulating coinage. Instead of using 90% silver, quarters were now being made from a more affordable and durable copper-nickel-clad composition. A pure copper core layered with a mixture of 75% copper and 25% nickel on both sides. The goal was simple: to keep up with public demand for coins while preserving the integrity and appearance of American currency. Despite this shift, the U.S. Mint continued to use the traditional design of the quarter that featured none other than George Washington, a design introduced in 1932 by sculptor John Flanagan. Washington's dignified profile faces left, and above him, the word, Liberty, arches proudly across the top of the coin. On the left, near his neckline, we find the national motto, "In God We Trust," and directly below the portrait sits the date, 1979, stamped with precision and pride. On the reverse, we see a design just as powerful. A majestic bald eagle, wings spread wide in a defensive stance, clutches a bundle of arrows in its talons. Below the eagle, olive branches fan out gracefully, symbolizing peace. The inscriptions surrounding the design complete the picture. United States of America, curves at the top. E pluribus unum, lies just beneath the eagle's head, and at the bottom, the words, $quarter, denote the coin's denomination. It is a clean, symmetrical, and symbolic piece of American artistry. The 1979 quarter was produced without a mintmark for coins struck at the Philadelphia Mint. That's an important detail because this absence of a mintmark adds to the mystique of identifying rare and valuable specimens from that year. Most people assume that a coin without a mintmark is just another common piece of change, and usually, they're right. But every so often, a rare error or variation slips through, making that seemingly average coin a numismatic treasure. So what makes some 1979 quarters worth far more than 25 cents? The answer lies in minting errors and unusual planchet mistakes, tiny imperfections that occurred during the coin's creation. These are not visible to the average person but are thrilling discoveries for seasoned collectors. Some 1979 quarters have been discovered struck on the wrong type of planchet, including leftover silver or foreign coin blanks that were mistakenly fed into the minting presses. Others have exhibited off-center strikes, double dies, clipped planchets, or even dramatic broad strikes that cause the rim of the coin to stretch out in strange ways. One particularly exciting error is a 1979 quarter struck on a silver planchet, an unbelievable occurrence considering that silver had been removed from circulation coins over a decade earlier. These coins are typically heavier than their copper-nickel counterparts and have a distinct tone or ring when dropped. Their color may also look different under certain light, giving experienced collectors an instant clue that something unusual is in their hands. The value of these era coins depends on a combination of rarity, demand, and condition. A coin that is rare and also in pristine mint state condition can command an enormous premium on the collector market. For example, coins graded MS65, MS66, or MS67 by trusted third-party grading services like PCGS or NGC are especially valuable because they have retained their original shine, detail, and texture with no signs of circulation wear. Another factor that boosts a coin's value is provenance, where it came from and how it was discovered. If a coin can be linked to a major collection, a well-documented era batch, or an iconic auction, it immediately gains credibility and excitement in the numismatic world. Stories of rare quarters being found in old jars, inherited collections, or forgotten drawers only add to the allure and keep collectors constantly searching. It's important to remember that coins like the 1979 Washington quarter are not only valued for their metallic content or face value, they're treasured for what they represent. They are historical artifacts, small but mighty symbols of the country's economic and cultural heritage. When an error occurs, it freezes a moment in time, a split second in the mint's production process that accidentally created a future legend. The hunt for rare quarters is very much alive today. With coin roll hunting gaining popularity on YouTube, social media, and in collector circles, more and more people are beginning to realize that change in your pocket might hold more value than meets the eye. Whether you're a seasoned numismatist or a casual enthusiast, examining every 1979 quarter you come across could be the key to an extraordinary find. It's this possibility that makes coin collecting not only a hobby, but an adventure. And now, the highlight of our journey: just how much can a rare 1979 Washington quarter be worth? In one spectacular case, a 1979 Washington quarter struck on a silver planchet, verified by experts, and graded in near-flawless mint state condition sent shockwaves through the coin collecting world when it went up for auction. That extraordinary coin achieved a final sale price of an astonishing $110,000. Top 5. What if a coin that passed through countless hands, was used to buy snacks, pay meters, or tossed in a fountain for a wish, turned out to be worth a staggering fortune? What if the quarter jingling in your drawer or hiding in your old coin jar had the potential to change your life forever? That's the breathtaking reality of the rare 1989 Washington quarter, specifically, the Denver Mint issue, a coin that may look like every other 25-cent piece in circulation, but in certain extraordinary cases, it has been valued as high as $92,000. Let's begin by going back to the year 1989, a year that marked the end of a decade filled with change, innovation, and technological advancement in America. While the world was evolving rapidly, the United States Mint remained committed to producing the nation's coinage with the same integrity and precision that had been upheld for generations. The Washington quarter, by then an American icon, continued to serve not just as currency, but as a symbol of the country's enduring legacy. First issued in 1932 to commemorate the 200th birthday of George Washington, the Washington quarter has maintained a consistent design for decades. The obverse, or front side, of the coin features the noble profile of President Washington facing left. Designed by sculptor John Flanagan, this portrait is dignified and timeless, capturing the first president's strong and stoic character. The word, Liberty, is engraved above Washington's head, while to his left rests the national motto, In God We Trust. Beneath this iconic image is the date, 1989, a clear stamp of its historical identity. But perhaps one of the most significant features of this particular quarter is the small letter, D, tucked to the right of Washington's ponytail. This mint mark stands for the Denver Mint, which was responsible for producing a significant portion of the 1989 quarter supply. Though mint marks often go unnoticed by casual users, collectors know that this tiny letter can make a big difference in a coin's value, especially when combined with rare production errors or unexpected planchet varieties. On the reverse side of the coin, we're greeted by the powerful image of a bald eagle with its wings spread wide, perched atop a bundle of arrows and flanked by olive branches. This striking design symbolizes both the strength and peace that define the United States. Above the eagle is the phrase, United States of America. Below it the proud motto, E pluribus unum, meaning, out of many one. And finally, at the bottom, the denomination, quarter dollar. From a technical perspective, the 1989 D Washington quarter measures 24.26 millimeters in diameter, 1.75 millimeters in thickness, and weighs exactly 5.67 grams. It's composed of a core of pure copper clad in layers of copper nickel, giving it that silver-like appearance while keeping production costs low. The coin's round shape and reeded edge make it instantly recognizable, and its durable composition was built to withstand decades of circulation. So how does a standard, widely circulated coin like this end up being worth tens of thousands of dollars? The answer lies in the small mistakes, the minting anomalies that, though unintended, make certain coins stand out as rare and highly sought after by collectors. These anomalies include things like off-center strikes, double dies, clipped planchets, wrong planchet errors, and coins struck with misaligned dies. Any of these can take an otherwise ordinary coin and elevate it to numismatic legend. One of the most remarkable and valuable errors associated with the 1989 D Washington quarter involves it being accidentally struck on a wrong planchet. That is, the blank metal disc used to strike the coin came from a different denomination or even from a foreign coin issue. This rare and stunning mistake creates a coin with either the wrong weight, wrong metallic composition, or unusual coloration, which can sometimes be detected by collectors with trained eyes or precise equipment. Another high-value possibility is a 1989 D quarter struck on a leftover silver planchet. Although silver was officially removed from circulating quarters in 1965, rare transitional errors have been known to occur even years later. If a 1989 quarter was somehow struck on a silver blank, either by mistake or due to leftover stock used during testing or proof production, it could be worth a small fortune. These coins typically weigh slightly more than standard quarters and have a distinctly brighter or different luster. Condition is also a major factor. A coin that has never been circulated, known as a mint state, or uncirculated coin, holds significantly more value, especially if it has been graded and certified by a reputable agency like the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, or Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC. High-grade coins, such as those rated MS65 or higher, exhibit no wear, sharp detail, and strong luster, making them especially desirable. In addition to errors and condition, historical interest plays a big role. Coins from the late 1980s marked the final era before the U.S. Mint shifted designs in the early 2000s with the launch of the 50-state quarters program. As a result, quarters like the 1989 D represent the final chapter of a long-running classic design, a fact that only adds to their allure for collectors who seek out the last examples of any type. The thrill of discovering one of these rare gems is what keeps coin collectors searching. Imagine poring through an old collection of coins, flipping through a forgotten album, or opening a dusty roll from a bank, and finding a 1989 D quarter with a mysterious glow, strange features, or an unusually crisp strike. That's the magic of numismatics. The idea that every coin has a story, and some stories are worth more than you ever imagined. So if you're ever going through your change, don't overlook the simple 1989 quarter with the tiny D on it. Examine it closely, check its weight, look for signs of unusual striking patterns, and consider having it evaluated by a professional. Because while most of these coins are worth just 25 cents, a small handful are worth far more. And now, let's talk numbers. In an astonishing case that captured the attention of collectors and dealers across the country, one rare 1989 D Washington quarter, believed to have been struck on a wrong planchet and preserved in near-perfect mint state, was sold at auction for a breathtaking amount. The final value of this extraordinary coin was $92,000.